people. And I want to know that I don't take it for granted, and I really appreciate your participation. I just heard that the Zoom recordings in process. Is the AI summarization in process?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, great, thanks. And I see closed captioning has been enabled. This meeting's being video recorded and will be publicly available on the MCC's YouTube channel. I'm J.C. Graham. I'm presently the Vashon-Maury Community Council, and I'd like to invite the other board members to briefly introduce themselves. Doug Ostrom.
Yes, I'm Doug Ostrom, and I've been the president of Vashon Island for a long time, like since I was born, pretty much. Yeah. But I'm really new to the council, so I'm trying to grow.
I'm Ben Rajovic. I'm the secretary, and I'm a fairly newcomer to Vashon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Bologna. I've lived on Vashon for 20 years, and it's my deepest desire to be a good public servant for the people. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Nicole. Are there board members on Zoom who'd like to introduce yourself?
Jessica Anagar. I'm corresponding secretary on the board, and my family's 5th generation on Vashon Island.
Thank you, Jessica. Anne?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ann Thorne. I'm the treasurer and have been on the island over 30 years, and also very, very happy to serve the community.
Thank you. And Meg?
Hi, everyone. I'm Meg Thompson. I'm the Arts and Culture Sector Liaison, and I am going into my 2nd year of living on Vashon with my 7-year-old.
Thank you, Meg. Yeah, you might mute yourself. That's a reminder for them. There are a lot of different ways that we're trying to invite community input and community voice. And it's so important. And one thing that we're trying, and this will be the 2nd meeting, is a brief section of what's on my mind. And it's an invitation for you to sort of check in and let us know what's top of mind for you. And this month we also have a prompt of what is it that makes Vashon-Maury Island feel like home to me. So you can either tell us if you like what it makes it feel like home to you, or just say whatever else that you're bursting to let us know about. And we'll just take a few minutes if anyone would like to do that. The floor is open for that. Yeah, but
okay, so you want us to let you know what we're thinking now?
Yeah.
Okay. I got this little flyer for Teresa Stephen. Yeah. And she outlines all of the spending programs she's so proud of, and so proud that she gets more money for water taxi. But there isn't a single line in here about this. Nothing. And our last council member, Joe Rivera, same thing. Spend our money, but not a stitch for road maintenance.
Okay. Well, Chris, are you on Zoom with us?
Good evening, Chris Lampkin, Office of King County Council Member Teresa Mosqueda. It was a little bit hard to hear, but I think I heard a desire to want to know more about roads funding.
Yeah. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Chris is with Councilwoman Mosqueda's office, and Mr. Schnell made the comment that he got the Councilwoman's flyer recently, and there was nothing about road maintenance, which is a very important issue here. So please convey that to her, that we're concerned about road maintenance and would like to see more of it. At least some of us.
And I would love to just share Some of you all might be aware of the constraints here at the county when it comes to the 1% cap. And that really constrains our general fund budget, which means departments like local services, where roads is housed, every year their budget gets tighter and tighter, which means there's less money to make the improvements that I know folks on the island desperately want to see. And I get lots of those emails. I'm lead on roads, by the way. And so we are actively looking at ways that we can have the resources we need to maintain roads in the unincorporated areas of the county, because it's not just unincorporated residents who drive on these roads, it's residents from all over the county, but it's really only supported by a very small portion of our budget, and we got to figure out how we can retool that so we have the resources, because it's unacceptable for folks to not be able to have the same type of road services incorporated areas.
Well, thanks very much, Chris. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad to hear you leading the efforts on that. Thank you. Are there other? Yes.
I have a quick clarifying question.
Yes.
One thing that's on my mind is also on our agenda. Would you like me to wait till we get to that agenda item?
Sorry, which one?
One of the things on my mind is specifically already on the agenda.
Well, you can mention it just briefly.
I'll be brief. I'd like to share some comments and research that I've personally done based on the flock cameras, and I'm eager to discuss that with the group, and to make our voices known about how those cameras are used, and the genuine issues and liabilities that actually opens our county up to if we implement them. So.
Okay, thank you very much. There are other what's on my mind comments? Or anyone want to say what makes the island feel like home to you? Yes.
Bad roads make Vashon feel like it. Fairly serious. It slows cars down.
Oh, I see.
I think it's not necessarily totally potholes in the road. And I ride a bicycle.
Okay.
Dodging. But it's scary when people are going 50 miles an hour.
Yes. Well, thank you for that perspective.
Sure.
Anyone else? Very well. Thank you all. We'll move now to call to order, which is a determination of a quorum. By the bylaws, our quorum is 25 voting members. You'll know you are a member if you've received a welcome, if you've signed up, and on our website, the v-mcc.org website, there's a membership form at the bottom. If you fill that out and got a welcome from our membership administrator, Debbie Jackson, you'll know that you're a member, and we follow the honor system here. We need to count how many voting members we have, both here and on Zoom tonight. And if we have 25 or more, then we can conduct formal business at this meeting. So everybody in the room, if you're a member, please raise your hand and keep it up. And everybody on Zoom, if you're a member, use the react button to raise your hand. And we'll give it a few seconds, and then Jen and I will endeavor to get the same count.
Yeah.
How many is in the room?
I got 13.
Same. And I see 13 on Zoom.
26.
14. So 27 total, right?
Great.
So we made our quorum tonight. Thank you all so much. That's very encouraging. I'd also say that this matter of whether or not we have a quorum is really essential for us to be able to function as an organization and to conduct our formal business. And I'm hoping that we can get a core of 25 to 35 people who will commit to themselves to showing up every month, regardless of what's on the agenda, so that we can be a smoothly functioning organization. And thank you for your consideration of that possibility. The minutes will be taken by our secretary, Jen Rakovic. And I'll provide a brief technical overview. Am I seen facing the Zoom audience?
Yeah.
Is set up? Okay. Welcome, Zoomies and others. If you're participating remotely, sign on with your phone or computer, but not both. If you're on Zoom, please stay muted unless you are speaking. If you've signed on with anything other than your first and last name, please change it on Zoom so we can know who you are. And for Zoom attendees, please be advised that questions on chat may not be answered. If someone wishes to take on the task of speaking for the person chatting, they're welcome to do that. The democratic rules of order can be found at the website that's in the agenda. It's https://www.democraticrules.com/ and a flow chart and downloadable summary of the rules can be found in the right margin. Also, we have democratic rules books, which those of you in the room, if you'd like to reference one, they're in that white bag over on the chair that I got distracted and forgot to put out on the table or something, but feel free to help yourself. Please raise your hand to speak to a motion or participate in open discussion, and lower your hand after you've been recognized or if you no longer wish to speak. And for both on Zoom and in the room, the first time you're recognized to speak, please identify yourself by name. And it's actually specified in our bylaws that we open with a land acknowledgement. And the way we've been doing that is to ask a volunteer. Ideally, I would have asked someone ahead of time, but the way it works is we've got a sheet of 5 different options, and you just have to pick one and read it. Would anyone like to do that tonight? Read the land acknowledgement?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Allison Buchanan. My husband and I, Brad, are newer to the island. We moved here about 2 years ago. We live down in Houston. I look forward to meeting everyone as you later. To clarify, one of the clauses or the whole sheet?
Just one, just pick one of the 5.
Please join me in acknowledging the Coast Salish people. The land we occupy today is their ancestral land. For thousands of years, they lived on it, stewarding its resources and care and wisdom. Today, with gratitude, we acknowledge them and their elders, past, present, and emerging, and recognize that this land remains a vital part of their cultural sovereignty.
Thank you very much, Allison. I'll make a few brief comments about the rules of conduct, as is our custom. This council is committed to conducting its meetings in a civil, respectful, and courteous manner. We expect all participants to demonstrate common courtesy and a respect toward fellow islanders and guests. As we build our new council, we are dedicated to creating a safe and healing space to address our shared interests. Rudeness, personal criticism, and ridicule, including in online chat contributions, are not acceptable and will not be tolerated. Please keep your remarks focused on issues, not on individuals. We're here because we're stronger together. And please, let's have a show of hands to demonstrate our intent to honor the rules of conduct. And Zoom, you can too if you'd like to. Thank you. The first formal order of business then is we'll finalize the minutes of the previous council meeting, November 20th, 2025. And can you bring those up, please, Nicole? These were sent out with the invitation letter. And you ideally would have read those. Is there a motion to accept those minutes? So, thank you, Mike. Is there a second? Second. Right. Are there any questions about these minutes or something you would like to look at in particular? You can scroll down through them, I guess, just so people can at a glance see if there's anything that jumps out at them. Thank you. Is there any discussion about whether or not to adopt these minutes? We move to a vote then. Everybody who is a member and would like to vote to adopt the minutes, please raise your hand.
I get 11.
Same. And can we see that list again, please? On Zoom, please keep your hands up if you're voting to accept the minutes. $14, 15, 26. In favor, all those opposed? You can put your hands down now on Zoom. Any votes in opposition? I do not see any, so that passes. Now we'll finalize the agenda for this council meeting. You bring that up, please. Nicole, this also was sent out to you, and I hope you've had a chance to review it. I just want to emphasize what an important part of the meeting this is. I think it's tempting to treat this as just sort of a pro forma thing, but actually the council here is the final authority in our organization, and that you have ultimate control of the agenda is a critical point in you having that control. So I hope we'll always remember to do this point and take it very seriously, because if something's happening that you don't like, or you want to change the agenda, like for instance, if the what's on my mind isn't your cup of tea and you think we should just dispense with that, you could make a motion to like not include that on future agendas. Or if there's something that's an overriding concern, it's not on our agenda, some emergent thing, you can make a motion to add that to the agenda, and it's in your power to do that. The board is a servant of the council. I want everyone to understand that and remember that. So here's our agenda. And is there a motion to accept the agenda for this council meeting? Thank you. You moved. Is there a second? And remind me of your name, please. Evan. And Evan, seconded. Is there any discussion about the agenda? Anyone on Zoom want to talk about it? Very well, move to vote. All in favor of adopting the agenda, please raise your hand.
I get 13 in the room.
And on Zoom? 9? 22? All those were 10, 23? You can put your hands down now. Thank you. And is anyone opposed to the agenda? Hi, Laura. You can move that bag that's on that seat, please.
Can I sit over here?
Yes, certainly. Hi, Mark. Would you just set that bag down? So that there, I saw no votes in opposition, were there, Jen?
Correct.
Very well. So we've adopted the agenda for this council meeting. We'll move on to a brief introduction of the rules of procedure. As I said before, only members can vote. And if you've recently joined, you'll know your membership has been processed if you've received a welcome email from Debbie Jackson. And let's have a show of hands for good faith voting. Make sure everybody understands they're only voting on motions if they're actually a member. Thank you. At the appropriate junctures, you can make motions and amendments the way that we go by the democratic rules of order, which is a bit different and simpler than Robert's rules of order, with which you might be familiar. In the democratic rules of order, there's only one level of amendments. You consider the amendments one at a time and deal with them. There are no amendments to amendments. Another thing that's very important is points of order. It's our objective to maintain good order in this meeting, which means many things. It means following the rules of procedure, but it also means people being civil with each other and allowing us to conduct our business. If at any point you think that I'm not following the rules correctly, or anybody else is, or something's not keeping good order here and we need a correction for, you can rise to a point of order at any time. And I will usually consider that and make a ruling, but then again, the council is the ultimate authority. And I can be overruled by the council regarding one of these points of order. I might say, no, I think we're doing it perfectly. And you can tell me, no, we should do it this other way. Because again, the council is the one that's in charge. Yes, Julie?
Order. I've been wondering why votes on meeting things that I can't read sitting here, let alone someone who's more visually disabled. This is probably not in compliance with ADA.
Well, Julie, thank you for your question. And they were sent out with the meeting invitation notice.
So the expectation is that we will, which I do, but then I come here and I need to look at them. I want to print them out then.
You could print them out at home, or if there's something in particular you want to examine, we can just pause on that and blow it up. Thank you. Jenny, did you have something else? Yes. Very well. Are there any other questions or points of order? We move on to the annual meeting business. I'm excited to note that we have a candidate for another board position, Kavi Rana. And Kavi, I think, is here online. Are you here, Kavi?
Yes. Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Kavi. Thank you so much for your application. We've presently, for Kavi, we have 7 board members, and by the bylaws, ideally, we would have 12. So we're considering Kavi for the 8th position, and her application information was, again, sent out with the invitation letter, which you would have had a chance to review. But also, I'm happy that Kavi is here to present herself to you and to take any questions you may have. Would you like to say a little bit about yourself, please, Kavi?
Yes. I immigrated from Nepal 20 years ago, and I've lived on the island since then. My family owns a little curry bubble tea shop on the island, and I am passionate about a lot of things, one being the environment, and I teach sewing on the island, and I take a bunch of like old trash clothes and I make them into something new. And I'm really passionate about like in-person community gathering because I think we should get off the internet and be more like in person, and like finding creative ways to be civically engaged because that's something I value is volunteering. And I have a lot of cool ideas for the community, like skill sharing and like things like that. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and thank you so much.
Thank you, Kavi. Are there any questions for Kavi? Very well. Is there a motion to the board, by the way, has unanimously voted to have Kavi join our board of directors. And so this is a validation of that. Is there a motion to accept Kavi as a board member? Yes.
Yes, and that we accept Kavi as a board member.
Thank you, Laura. Is there a second?
I'd like to second that. This is Diane Emerson.
Diane and I were seconded it. Is there any discussion? I just want to say how thrilled I am at the prospect of Kavi joining our board. I think it's wonderful. That's what. So any other discussion? Very well, we'll move to a vote then. All those in favor of electing Kaveh Rana to join the VMCC Board of Directors, please raise your hand.
Can anybody raise their hand or?
Only if you're a member.
So I have 14 in the room.
Okay, and 12 on Zoom. 26. You can put your hands down now. Thank you. And is anyone opposed? I see no votes in opposition.
See none.
26-0, Jen. Well, welcome to the board, Kaveh. Thank you so much for your application and for joining us. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Thank you for stepping up, Kaveh.
And next item on the agenda is a brief report on the VMCC online auction. Anne Thorne, I would like you to say something about the results, if you would, please.
About the auction, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So our auction raised about $940. I think it was a success. Not just because we raised money, but because people bid on things that they wanted, and most, except for a couple items, everything went to people from the council, or not from the council, from on the community council. I think that we have a good opportunity to do this again and make it bigger, and because island businesses were very welcomed at giving, gift certificates and things. And I think now this was the first time we'd ever done an online auction. It was the first time I'd ever set up anything. And, so we learned a lot, and now we kind of have the process down. So I certainly welcome any input from anyone. Because next time I think we could also get a far broader participation. Is there anything else you'd like me to talk about, JC?
Just would you repeat the number, please? The closed captioning didn't catch it.
$940.
$940 was raised in the online auction.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you so much for taking the lead on organizing this.
Yep.
Much appreciated. And
I have a follow-up question.
yes, Jen?
Is there a way for community members to donate to the council after the close of the auction?
You mean just
You mean donate on the website, Jen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anybody can donate through our website platform. There's a donation button there, and it takes you directly to Zephy, which is just the intermediate platform we're using, and you can do monthly donations, and it takes credit cards or debit. If you want to donate by check, then I guess you got to give that to me.
Okay, thanks, Anne. Yeah, we recently refurbished the donation link on the website. It works really well now. I checked it out. If you want to make a donation, I invite you to consider making a monthly donation, even of a small amount, because that really helps nonprofit organizations to plan and manage their income better. This year, we'll have to be focusing on fundraising a bit. Heretofore, we've not been doing that because we've been getting the council up and running again. But if you just go to our website, it's easy to find if that appeals to you.
And right now we do have a couple of monthly donations coming in. So
great.
So it works. If anybody would like to do it. Thank you.
And now we have the inaugural Island Partner Organization update. Our guest is Cody Allen, who's the Operations Manager at Vashon Library. Thank you for joining us tonight, Cody. You want to come up here? Yeah. How would you feel comfortable? Hello.
Hi.
Would you like to sit or stand?
Stand, yeah. I'm Mary Sue Hauser. I'm a regional manager for the King County Library System, and I'm only here to introduce your wonderful local Vashon Library Operations Manager, Cody Allen. And on Zoom, we have Stephen Bailey, who is also a Library and Information Services Manager. He couldn't be here in person, but he's on Zoom. And like any good administrator, now I'm just going to get out of the way so that they can actually show you all their great work.
Hi, everyone. As Mary said, my name is Cody. I'm the operations manager for Vashon. I've been here just a little over a year. I started last November, I believe. And so Steve and I will kind of bounce back and forth for this presentation a little bit, but we just want to come talk about the library a little bit, some updates, and just meet you all and make sure you know who we are as well. I'd start by saying, for me personally, I'm coming from Eastern Washington. I was in Whitman County Library before this, and before that I was in Billings, Montana for a long time at the public library there. And I'm here because I wanted to be on Vashon. My partner, her family is from Vashon. Her mom and her aunts all grew up here. So it's always a dream for us to get back here. My family's from Auburn, Renton area. So we're excited to be back in the area now. We're trying to get to the island, but we're in Port Orchard at the moment, but getting closer every day. But with that being said, I did want to be at Vashon. I love this island, and being part of the library in particular here is fantastic. The library, which we'll talk about all these things a lot throughout this presentation, we love being part of the community. We love serving the community. We like being a physical place of community here. We'll just jump in. Go next slide. So our big update is, as of late August, we are open 7 days a week again. So we've been 6 days for a long time, especially during the pandemic, but due to community feedback and a desire to serve to the best of our ability, we're back on 7 days a week. So that's the big one. We're very excited. I can't say a ton about that process, but I will say, our staff, we're almost all, I think everyone is from the island. They were very excited about the prospect of 7 days a week as well. So a lot of good feedback from the community already, and it's going well. It's I think every day it's getting busier and busier, which is what we like to see. Other than that, yeah, I guess we're open 11 to 6 on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday now. So we are very excited about that. Next slide, please. Again, just for anyone who doesn't know, good bet on the library is 11 to 6, other than Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Those are late days, so we're open from noon to 8 p.m. 11 to 6 is the safe time. Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays we open at 10, so a little bit earlier, but just letting you all know about that. You can always call ahead or anything like that. We're happy to let you know what our hours are. So next slide, please. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the core services the library offers. The biggest one, obviously, is the building itself. 10,000 square foot facility at Over Park. It's been remodeled and expanded in 2014. If you've not been to the library, highly recommend it. It's a beautiful building. But again, it is the core part of the community. I know we all spend a lot of time in the digital realm. We all get lost in CDs and flows of information a lot. And so the library really do like that physical connection to the community and seeing people come there, interacting with them, putting on programs, talking with people. That's what we really like and what we really are all about. So the building itself is fantastic. It has almost 39,000 items at the library, physical items for you to check out. As a handy kind of stat, I believe, and take this with a grain of salt, it's mostly accurate, I believe last year we checked out overall around 115,000, 120,000 circulations of physical items. I can't remember off the top of my head what the digital ones are, but so Vashon by itself is checking out 3 times as much items we have in the library, so that's fantastic. We have some special collections and some more language materials in there. So we do have a local reference collection of items specific to Vashon-Maury Island. But then this last year we worked, every branch at KCLS has world languages, items, books in other languages. We kind of redid ours this year. So now we focus on Spanish and Japanese language items. Those are the biggest parts of our collection. And that includes some adult material, teen material, and children's material as well. So you can find those in our collection. And just so everyone knows, our collection is open to every branch. So if whatever we have in the KCLS catalog, you can get. So you're not limited to what we have at Vashon. Anything in any of our branches, we can have it shipped to us. Usually within 7 to 10 days will arrive. So other than that, we have great staff. Staff, as a manager, staff are the best part of my day. They are a great group of people, very knowledgeable about both the library and Vashon community. So if you have not had a chance, please stop by and meet them. They're great. As far as the building itself goes, we have a meeting room, which is available for organizations to reserve and use. We have study rooms, so individuals can come in and book those for whatever they need to do. We have public restrooms, which I think a lot of people do know about, but want to make sure you do know. It is just a pure public restroom for the island, which is good to know. And then again, it's just an accessible space. We have power out, we have power, we have chairs, we have lots of we have a lot of community resources as well to point people in the right direction for what they need. So again, it's just a big community space. We have a book drop. I do want to highlight as well our technology. We obviously have computers and internet access. We have printing. We have scanning. If you need to scan or fax or anything like that, we can do that. And there is a weekly printing allowance, if you don't know, so you can come and print things off for free. It was $1.50, and then this fall that got bumped up to $5. So what that means is roughly a regular page of printing is 15 cents. So what it's like 33 1/3 pages or something like that. So if you have a small printing you need to do, library is a good place to come do it. We're also the ballot drop-off site for King County. So outside of the library, we have the big ballot drop-off box. And then we also have 24/7 Wi-Fi access. So it changes from branch to branch at KCLS, but on Vashon, in our parking lot, you can access the Wi-Fi all night long, all morning long, even when we're closed. So I'm going to hand it off to Stephen to talk a little bit more about our library programs and the services, but did anyone have any questions for me at this moment? I'll jump back in at the end too. Okay, I will hand it off to Stephen for now.
All right. Thanks, Cody. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Bailey. My title is Librarian and Information Services Manager, and I oversee programs and services and partnerships for the library. Next slide, please. So I'm going to talk a little bit about library programs and services. We're going to start talking about our summer reading program. This is our biggest programming push every year. And summer reading is designed to keep kids and teens, adults as well, but kids and teens especially, engaged with reading all summer long while they're out of school. Research has shown that this prevents learning loss over the summer and keeps kids engaged. Plus, it's fun to read. We had a theme this year called Curious Creatures that we organized our summer reading around, and you may have seen someone dressed up as a Sasquatch at the library. Rumors are that might have been me. We had 328 kids sign up for the program at the Vashon Library this year. That was an increase from last year. And we're looking forward to this year's edition of summer reading. Some more information to come about that. Next slide, please. In addition to what we do over the summer, we have weekly programs for kids and teens. Our librarians, Amelia and Sam, do a fantastic job of engaging with kids and teens around the island and hosting and putting on great programs for them. So every week we have a Reading Buddies program where volunteers help kids practice their reading out loud. We have a craft program on Tuesdays called Curiosity Club. That's fantastic, where we do weekly crafts, usually with a science bent. Coming up next week, we have snowball launchers. Even if we don't have any snow, we're going to use pom-poms. It's going to be fine. And then on the 27th, we're making bird feeders at the library. For teens, we have a teen hangout every week where teens can choose what activity they'd like to do. We have a variety of things put out for them. They can do arts and crafts, board games, role-playing games. There's online video games as well. Just a nice place for kids to come after school and do a little hanging out in the library. Every Thursday morning, we have story times with Miss Amelia, our children's librarian. Story times are, there's research has shown that kids who attend story times are much better equipped for starting school and have much better outcomes later on in elementary school. So story time works. It's the path to early learning. We're also starting our Spanish story times back up again. We did that last fall, and they're coming back on Mondays, starting February 23rd. Next slide, please. In addition to programs for kids, we have programs for adults as well. Let's start with author visits. We like to bring authors in and to talk about the books that they've written. Last year, we had Patrick Hutchison come in. He's a New York Times bestselling author of the memoir Cabin, about his escapades building a cabin in the Cascade Mountains. He lives in Tacoma and was very happy to come to the island and talk to us. We also had Kiki Hughes come. She lives in the Bellevue area. And she wrote a graphic novel called Displacement about the Japanese internment in the 40s during World War II. We have more authors coming to visit us in March. We're going to have a panel of mystery thriller writers at the library. So that's on the 22nd of March. Keep your ears open for that one. Speaking of books, we have one of the longest running book groups on the entire West Coast. It's called the Great Books Discussion Group, and it's been going for 75 years. Not all at the library, of course, but they meet monthly. The books, the texts, it's not always books. Sometimes it's an article, sometimes it's a play, sometimes it's a poem. Great works. And those are available at the library and online. You can attend Great Books on Zoom now as well. We also have a multi-generational book group. We have speakers from the Humanities Washington Speakers Bureau. Coming up, we have Doug Levy. And you can see the tiny flyer there. He's going to be talking about the little-known stories of 4 Olympic heroes. Also, Maggie Mertens is coming and doing a program for us, and former Washington State Poet Laureate Claudio Castro Luna will be at the Vashon Library as well in early April. So we're very much looking forward to that one. Claudia's coming on April 1st, and that's, I'm not fooling, that's really the date. Thanks to the Vashon Parks Department for their partnership. Last but not least, we have How to Library sessions. We realize that we know how to use the library very well as library staff and librarians, but not everybody knows how. Yes, we still do use the Dewey Decimal System, and there are a lot of things that you can do with your library card that maybe people don't know about. For example, using your library card, you can get free access to ebooks and audiobooks on your Kindle or other e-readers, or to listen to on your phone. All of those are for free through the library. We also have access to a number of specialized databases like Consumer Reports, Ancestry.com, Chilton guides for car repair, encyclopedias, dictionaries, all kinds of fun stuff. And all that's free with your library card. Next slide, please. In addition to these programs, we have some special events, some kind of big deal programs, we call them. Every year we do 2, 3, 4 of these. We've had Hobbit Week at the library. That was super fun. We made wands and watched movies and had a great time. We are planning a celebration of Alice in Wonderland this year for their 160th birthday of the publication of that book. The Antiques Rock Show, I know Steve Bergman's in the audience. Steve and his group of geologists, the Vashon Union of Geologists, do the Antiques Rock Show for us every spring. That's coming up again on February 15th, and we're calling it Love Rocks this year because it's right by Valentine's Day. So come down to the library, bring your rocks and get them identified, and learn about the geology that makes Vashon Island special. Also coming up in partnership with the Mukai Farm and Garden, we have the Day of Remembrance and the Day of Exile. Day of Remembrance is on February 22nd at the library this year. We're going to have a special set of events to memorialize the Japanese residents of the island who were forcibly displaced in World War II and sent to camps in California. And then the Day of Exile in May honors that specific day when islanders were rounded up and forced to report to Over Park for deportation off the island. In addition to those, we also have story walks. Those happen out in the parks. That's a partnership with King County Parks and the Vashon Parks Department, depending on where we put them. These are picture books that are placed along trails. So as you walk down the trail, you read the book as you go. And they're usually thematically related to whatever park they're in. So be on the lookout for those as well. Next slide, please. In addition to all that fun stuff, we also provide community support services for islanders in need. King County Public Health comes and can help out with health insurance, King County Metro cards, SNAP benefits, etc. We're starting up a program called Tech Tutor as well, where folks can come and get assistance with technology issues, one-on-one help navigating a specific issue they might have with a device or with a project. And we're always available at our information desk to help folks one-on-one with whatever questions they might have. Next slide, please. A lot of the great work that we do is supported by the Vashon Friends of the Library. They're an independent group, an independent nonprofit that fundraises on behalf of the Vashon Library. The picture there shows our president, Lisa Lukey. Hi, Lisa. Setting up and hosting our annual book sale in the library meeting room. That's going to be coming up. We're talking about dates at our meeting next Saturday. If you want to come join the friends, our next meeting is on Saturday the 24th at the library, 11 a.m. Next slide, please. In addition to the Vashon Friends, we have a ton of partners that we depend on. There's a few of them listed here. That's just a smattering of all the partnerships that we have, and we love being well connected to other library entities on the island. In fact, we host a nonprofit roundtable at the library as well to kind of let all the nonprofits gather. I'm going to turn it over to Cody for the last two slides. Thanks, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. It's a pleasure to see you, though.
Next slide, please. We're almost done, don't worry. So again, we love being part of the community. We love being a fiscal anchor for everyone here. And that really matters, for Vashon, as I'm sure you all know, we are geographically isolated. There is no bridge. You have to take ferries to get here. A lot of the time with a lot of the other branches at KCLS, you can bounce between branches really easily. They're close together. Not with Vashon. We have one library. It really matters. And again, I think our circulation numbers reflect that. We have an island of readers, and it really shows. The library acts as a good community hub and connection point. We get a lot of people coming in for lots of different reasons. Sometimes it's use the library, sometimes it's to use the internet, sometimes it's just to use a table to study, whatever it is. We are happy that they are there and using the resources. We do everything that we can to support students, children, adults, the community at large. And just so you know, we have eliminated late fines. So I won't go too far into the weeds. If you lose an item or damage it, we do charge for that. But otherwise, late fees are a thing of the past now. So we're trying to do everything we can to make things equitable and accessible for everyone as much as we can. And again, this was a quick dive into what the library offers. We have a lot of other things. Things I realized that Stephen was talking that I was quickly talking about was you can check out a Discover Pass from the library and go to some parks around the state. We are a distribution point for Vega Bucks on the island, which are currently gone until spring, but that is something that I know we really love being a part of. We like distributing those, getting the word out about that. All to say, as we've hammered home, hopefully by this point, we're here for the community, we're here for all of you. So obviously the librarians do a great job, staff do a great job, but we always want to be part of the conversation. So if there are things you love about the library, let us know. If there are things you'd like to see, let us know. We're here for the community. We're here to help people, help make things better, help people flourish. So the last slide is, I think I've already see. This is our information team. So this is our librarians and our public service assistants. That's Stephen, the tall man in the back. You can picture him in a Sasquatch outfit. That's who was just talking. So that helps well. So we're at 20 minutes, so I know we're a little over time. So I may hold off on asking for questions, but I will encourage you, if you do have anything to talk about or anything at all, I'm at the library most days. I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to stop by and chat or comment or whatever it is. We are there.
Thanks very much, Cody. We do have a minute. But I wasn't expecting to. I didn't realize this is my first time here at this meeting, this kind of meeting, and I was at the library today, and I was surprised to find that they upped the amount of, I was able to print what I needed to print, and I printed 19 copies of something, and I had my money out, but it didn't ask for it. So at any rate, I wanted to thank you for that. Over the last maybe 10 or 15 years, I've written 3 books. And about a year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, I asked them if they were interested in my book. And everybody was quite sure that they weren't. Maybe it's because they knew me, I don't know. But at any rate, I was curious, how does it happen for somebody to get a book into the library in case somebody might want to read it someday?
Yeah, it's part of that is KCLS just as a big system throughout King County. The easiest one is to do a request for purchase. Swing by the library, we can walk you through that.
I didn't want you to buy it.
And that's the hang up, is it is kind of centralized through the organization. I'd say swing by the library and talk to us, and we can see what we can do and try to get that to the right people, because it's not, I would say it's not easy, unfortunately, but we can.
I understand that.
Part of it is because we're publicly funded by your tax dollars. Thank you for that. So that makes, we're not allowed to take donations per se. That's why we have Friends of the Library. You can donate to the Friends of the Library who support us, but we can't take donations, but you can suggest a book for purchase. There's a way to do that online. As Cody says, if you come by the library, we'll help you do that, and we'll try to make sure that happens.
And we can put some comments in the form and some things that being clear about what.
Well, I do want to make sure that you understand. I love the library. I made good use of it. And thanks for coming and hearing.
Yeah.
Can I just have a question?
Time for reading. Thanks, Stephen. I stopped by the library the other day to follow up on the climate plan and do the grant that you got in 2023. And Stephen sent me some great report. And one of the elements there was a resilience capacity for the library. I'm curious if you might tell us a little bit about that, particularly the hours of operation, if you will, and if there's any thought about expanding the hours of operation, particularly as we go into colder, further days.
Yeah, as far as the resiliency kind of technicality goes, I know that's part of the climate pledge they're working on, and as far as I know, that's kind of where that's at. It's in process. Yeah, we are a warming center. We're a cooling center during the hot days as well. Right now, it is just during open hours. I do know there's a little bit with. We also can act as an emergency generator with the fire department in extreme situations. They can come down and get power here. I don't know the details of that, but I know that's in the works. No, that's part of it as well. But yeah, by and large, what it is during open hours, we try to have a warm building and a cool building as well. As far as expanding hours, We did the 7 days a week. That's been the biggest one for now, and I think that's all that I know of. I don't want to speak out of turn, other than say that that was the big push that we implemented and are trying to make the most of right now.
But there's been cooling and warming outside of hours. If there is a need, if the weather turns and there is a need, we do have partnerships in place to be available if that's a need in the community.
Outside of the current open hours.
Outside the current hours, if the weather is
Okay.
severe and it's needed, we do have some partnerships in place to try to support that. Sometimes it doesn't always work for us to do it, but if we try to be available if we can.
Yeah, I'd like to follow up as we're working with the Methodist Church and similar service to the community, so yeah, thanks for that.
Diane has a question. Diane?
Yeah, I know we're over time. This is going to be really quick. I love the library and I love the fact that it has a green roof. And I was wondering if you could tell me how the green roof is doing.
As far as I know, well, I've not had any negative updates on it, so I think nothing of note. So no news is good news, is what I would say.
Okay, great. Thank you.
If you're looking for a fun statistic about King County Library System as a whole, not just Vashon, as far as digital circulation goes, people downloading things on their device and not paying Amazon, doing it for free with the library. We are second in the nation for that, and we are fourth in the world. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
We'll turn now to new business. The first is to pick up a motion that was read into the record at our last meeting. The motion to adopt a resolution supporting the establishment of the Vashon Island Disaster Relief with Disaster Airlift Response Team, the IDART. And I'll turn it over to Truman O'Brien to present that motion.
Thanks. I am Truman O'Brien. I'm a commissioner for the Vashon King County Airport District #1, which owns and operates the municipal airport over on Cove Road. And we're trying to establish what's known as the generic is DART. We're calling ours VIDART because of Vashon Island. But I didn't read the full motion, so I'd like to read the full motion to you today. I'll try and make it quick. It was moved by me and seconded by Kathy Ostrom and Jackie O'Malley. Whereas Vashon-Maury Island is geographically isolated, relying primarily on ferry service for essential transport of people, goods, and emergency services. And whereas a major disaster such as a Cascadia subduction zone earthquake could severely compromise or eliminate access to the island via the existing ferry infrastructure and marine terminals, isolating the community. And whereas the Vashon Island Disaster Airlift Response Team, VIDART, is established as an organization of volunteer private pilots utilizing their personal aircraft to provide rapid and critical logistical support, including light cargo, ambulatory medical evacuation, damage assessment flights, and personnel transport to the island in the event of a major access compromising disaster. And whereas VIDART is committed to functioning as a coordinated auxiliary resource operating under the established incident command structure of the Islands Emergency Operations Center, that's the EOC, and Vashon Island Fire and Rescue, VIFR. And the last whereas the establishment of a formal airlift response capability significantly enhances the island's resilience and capacity for self-sufficiency during this critical post-disaster period. Therefore, be it moved that the Vashon-Maury Community Council formally adopt the attached resolution titled Resolution in Support of the Vashon Island Disaster Airlift Response Team, thereby declaring its support for the establishment, integration, and community recognition of this vital disaster preparedness asset. So I'm happy to take questions at this point.
Any questions for Truman? This was moved and seconded at our November meeting. Yes.
How many planes are available for that kind of service?
Right now, we have on the airport, we have 44 airplanes. And We don't have everyone signed up yet. We're working on that. We actually kind of tabled this because one of the requirements is that each of the participants in this program have emergency worker cards issued by the state of Washington. They have to undergo a background check and then have this emergency worker card. And in order to get that, we have to be supported by King County Emergency Management. Right now, they're kind of dragging their heels a little bit on this, so we've decided to suspend our efforts until we get that verified and rectified, and then we'll move forward. One of the reasons for doing this is to present this to King County to say, hey, the community really wants this. Please help us and please support us. Yes.
This might seem strange, but in the event of the Cascadia subductions in Ukraine, where would you go?
Well, that's a good question.
Do you have, would you develop as a group?
What we're working on right now, we're following the lead of Clallam County up at Port Angeles. And right now what they have is they have working agreements with their CERT programs in several locations around Port Angeles. And we're looking to do the same thing. Like, for example, Bremerton has a beautiful big airport. We will establish a relationship with their CERT program there so that they can help to provide supplies to us in the event that, we have this big event. But we also want to have, we have Tacoma Narrows Airport. Want to do the same thing with them. We have Boeing Field, of course. There's Auburn Airport. There's Puyallup. There's Payne Field up in Everett. So our goal is to help to establish relationships with their CERT programs to do that. Yes.
Related, I was going to ask, is there a centralized location with documentation, with plans and the things that have already been initiated and the connections we have?
Yeah, well, not this right here is a manual. This manual we adopted from Port Angeles, and it's amazing. It's the detail that these folks have gone through. We've taken it and modified it to meet our needs. One of the differences, by the way, is that we're kind of the opposite of Port Angeles. What they have there is they have a central location where what they're going to be supplying is people out on Kitsap or going out toward the Nia Bay. And so they will take supplies into Port Angeles and then distribute them out. We're going to be the opposite. We're going to be taking supplies and bringing them here. So we had to kind of modify their plan. And again, this is part of that deal where we have to establish those relationships. Yes, go ahead.
And then will it be a place we could read it? Like, is that plan on a website or just the binder you're holding?
Yeah, and sorry, a little bit hard to understand your mask, but
The binder you're holding,
yeah.
is the only place to read the plan, or is there a copy of it on a site we can
not
access?
yet, but there will.
Okay.
One of the other things that we're anticipating doing is they have a beautiful facility that was given to them by the Port of Port Angeles. We are looking at purchasing a building on the airport, which will be our headquarters, and where we'll be able to locate. We'll have radios, ham radios. That's a big part of the program. Computers, the whole setup will be in one location on the airport. Yes.
Aircraft are pretty good for lightweight stuff. Heavy stuff would need to come in by ship. So is there any parallel thing you're aware of for ship access?
There is, but that's military. The military is working on that, and also CERT is working on. And also there is now called a MERT, which is a Marine Emergency Response Team. They're like us, they're a little bit complicated because we have to deal with the FAA. They have to deal with the Coast Guard. So those relationships take precedent over working, with the community. So, but there will be access, marine access. One of the things that we talked about are, if there's a tsunami, we could have so much trash in the sound that boats are going to have trouble navigating as well. Luckily, there aren't any rocks up in the sky, so we'll be able to operate. We have right now, like I said, there are 44 airplanes on the field. I calculated how much we could lift at one time, and I'm sorry I don't have that number with me, but it's considerable. In fact, it's really surprising. It's like several thousand pounds at a time. Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much.
On Zoom,
Pardon me?
I'm asking if there are any Zoom
Oh, yeah.
questions.
Any Zoom people? Evidently not.
Thank you. Chairman.
Vicky has a question.
Actually,
Yes,
it's more like a
please.
comment. I wanted to let folks here know that the Emergency Operations Center and Vashon Be Prepared are fully behind the VIDART program and supporting getting them registered emergency worker status so they can forge ahead. They'd be a wonderful addition to our disaster clubs on the island.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Vicky. I was going to tell them that and I forgot. I'm sorry. I do have 3 letters. One from the chief, our fire department chief, one from Vicky in the EOC and the Vashon Be Prepared, and another from MJ Witt, which is the manager of our CERT program. So they are all 3 are supporting our program. This will also be set to be coming.
Thank you so much for the awesome organization taking the lead on this, Chairman.
Sure.
And thank you, Vicky. Is there discussion on this matter? Floor is open for discussion. Yes, Mark?
I'm, I've been following, or I've been following politics, most of my life. Couple times I was a candidate. And so I'm always looking for, what might be helpful, to make things better, just generally or any place. And, I didn't know whether it was going to be, when I decided to come today, I didn't know whether it was going to be appropriate to share an idea.
Does this have to do with the VIDART program?
I'm sorry?
Does this have to do with the VIDART program?
I don't know what that is.
That's what I just said.
That's what we're.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, Mark.
I thought you were talking about that topic.
No, we have not yet voted on that topic.
Right.
That's all right, but I want to assure you that there's a time at the end of the meeting for both promotions, but then also for community comments. That would be the appropriate place.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. Is there discussion on VIDART? Let's move to a vote then. All those in favor of the motion to adopt a resolution supporting the establishment of the Vashon Island Disaster Airlift Response Team, please raise your hand.
I get 15 in the room.
Yes.
Looks like unanimous.
14. Everybody on Zoom who's voted is voted, I hope.
29.
Very well. 29 with me. All those opposed? I see no votes opposed.
Still lowering hands.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Everybody lower your hands if you were voting in favor.
Oh.
Now, anybody opposed on Zoom, please raise your hand. So it's still 0. 29 zeros, Jen? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate your work on it. And Truman will be giving me copies of the motion and resolution to sign, and then we'll present that to we'll present it to the county. The next item of new business we have is the first reading of a motion from the Technology Watch and Response Committee, of which our own Nicole Anya is chair. This was unanimously recommended for adoption by the VMCC board. And the motion is to send a letter to the King County Sheriff's Office and copying certain other government offices regarding flock license plate reader cameras. There are a couple of things about this. One is there's this letter that is available to you to read, and I thank Nicole for drafting this. It's comprehensive and amazing, and I recommend it to you. It was linked in the meeting invitation and will be available on our website. There's also the motion that is less lengthy and will be read. Mark, did you have a question?
I didn't understand what you were saying. I didn't understand.
Okay, well, this is a matter about there are these flock cameras that are automated license plate readers that are being integrated into a national system, and it's a whole big deal. And the gist of this is that the motion is that we do not want these on our island, and a letter has been drafted to send to the county sheriff's office, letting them know that we don't want these on our island if it passes.
Is that where the thing gets done? Does he have anything to do with?
They would be the ones who would make an agreement if they were going to do that. We also have a representative from Council Member Mosqueda's office with us tonight to address this matter. Their office sent me an excellent letter giving context to this. But first, what I'd like to do is to read the motion to you so everyone can know what we're talking about. And then I'll turn it over to Chris to make whatever comments he would like to, and perhaps recap the contents of the letter that was sent that we'll be publishing on our blog sometime after this meeting, assuming that they don't object to that. Are there any questions before I proceed? All right. This is a VMCC motion to transmit community letter regarding automated surveillance systems. And first I'll read about some of the context of this. Public safety systems are commonly understood as relying on human judgment, situational awareness, and accountability in responding to danger. In everyday civic terms, intervention is expected to occur when harmful behavior is observed or when a credible threat is present, and to be tailored to restoring safety rather than imposing generalized control. These shared expectations form the framework through which public safety actions are evaluated and justified. The legitimacy of public safety action is directly reliant upon observable harm or an imminent and demonstrable risk thereof, along with the expectation that responses are exercised with fairness and restraint. This framework, while not always reflected uniformly in practice, has long served as the basis on which public safety measures are explained, defended, and accepted within society. Automated surveillance technologies, including automated license plate reader, ALPR systems, operate differently. By collecting and retaining data continuously and without individualized cause, these systems initiate monitoring in advance of any observed harm and shift assessment away from direct human observation. Ordinary movement through public space becomes a source of data and potential scrutiny rather than a neutral aspect of daily life. Over time, the normalization of such systems contributes to broader surveillance practices that raise questions about proportionality, transparency, accountability, and the concentration of power, particularly in small communities where trust and consent are essential to public safety. Here's a summary of the community concerns reflected in this resolution. The accompanying letter, prepared by the Vashon-Maury Community Council Technology Watch and Response Advisory Committee, outlines concerns related to automated surveillance systems, including the treatment of surveillance data as a public record under Washington law, with downstream risks to privacy and personal safety. The use of ALPR systems to enforce nonviolent administrative conditions rather than to address dangerous behavior. The integration of locally collected data into regional and national data sharing networks beyond community oversight. Disproportionate impacts on vulnerable populations. And transparency, accountability, and data security concerns associated with vendor-provided surveillance platforms including systems marketed by Flock Safety. The motion is the Vashon-Maury Community Council authorizes the transmission of the prepared community letter expressing concern and opposition to the deployment or expansion of automated license plate reader systems and similar automated surveillance technologies affecting Vashon-Maury Island. The letter shall be transmitted on behalf of the VMCC to the King County Sheriff's Office, including Sheriff Patty Cole Tyndale, and to other relevant county public safety or oversight offices as appropriate. At this point, I would entertain a motion to adopt.
Move to adopt the motion as read.
Kevin Jones and Jenny also. Jenny, would you like to second? Thank you. Would you like to be recorded as a second?
Sure.
What is your full name, please?
Evan Simmons.
Zimmer?
Simmons, S-I-M-M-O-N-S.
Simmons. Thank you, Evan.
Who was the first?
Was it the first, second?
Who was the motion?
Kevin Jones.
Kevin.
At this point, I'd like to turn it over to you, Chris, to introduce yourself again and make whatever comments you'd like and perhaps reflect on the comments of the letter that was provided.
Sure. Melanie in our office is our lead on law enforcement. And at this time, with what we see across the country, we want to make sure that there's nothing that our local law enforcement is doing that could aid some of the atrocities that we've seen. And just want to reaffirm that not only are we a welcoming county, but we doubled down on our welcoming county resolution last year. My boss led on that, and we're actively working on inventorying all the different surveillance technology that the sheriff's office currently uses. We don't actually have sheriffs using automated license plate readers or flock cameras right now, but there are some different jurisdictions that the sheriff might be the contract law enforcement office for that have those available, but the sheriff itself doesn't operate them, and we're not in favor of them operating them either. But we want to make sure that we have a full picture of all the different surveillance technology, because even if we have the best intentions locally, if other actors are able to come in, and we've seen this with the Department of Licensing at the state, and access that information as a way to try to terrorize and rip families apart, we don't want to be a part of that. And so we are committed to not having our local resources go to that kind of thing. And so Melanie is much more well-versed on what exactly that potential legislation we're going to do to address the situation is. But hopefully I was able to add a little bit to the conversation tonight.
Thank you, Chris. Chris Lampkin of the Office of Councilmember Lisa Mosqueda. Chris, would you have any objection to our posting the letter that your office sent me on our blog?
It's a public record, so feel free.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions for Chris? Yes, Mark?
I'm sorry. I don't understand. I haven't been hearing well, so I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but anyway, I don't understand. You didn't ask for any discussion about the letter that you wrote, was that?
We have not reached discussion yet. For one thing, the main discussion will be at next month's meeting.
I mean the discussion about the topic you're on.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The way it's set up is substantive motions are read into the record at one meeting like tonight, and we can address questions or briefly discuss it possibly, but then the main discussion will be at our February council meeting, at which time we will either vote on the motion or postpone it or whatever might happen to it. This is preliminary, but it's to bring it to the floor and bring it to people's attention and to clarify it as needs be. And then we'll more fully consider it next month.
And can you probably told us already, or I wasn't here, but who is Chris Lampkin?
He is a member of Councilmember Mosqueda's office at the county level. She's our county representative.
I see.
And they sent me a letter about this when they saw that we were going to be discussing it. It was very helpful, and we'll be posting that on our website now that I'm clear that they wouldn't object to that.
Thank you.
Yes,
JC, it might be helpful to remind people that it is being printed up on the screen for people who have difficulty hearing, that they can also see it being printed out as it's spoken.
Oh, the closed captioning?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than nothing. The closed captioning part. Jen?
Another jurisdiction to consider that I just became aware of is license plate readers on the ferries. I read a report that was made a couple of years ago that one of the efficiency recommendations for the ferries was to implement license plate readers, such as like the Good to Go system, which we don't have right now.
I see. Okay, well, thanks for bringing that to our attention. Yes, Allison?
A couple logistic questions about the letter. First, thank you for drafting this. I'm I have some relief coming into this meeting today, so thank you for doing that. My first question is, when are we planning to send it to the sheriff's office? Is there kind of a timeline there? Because I'm curious both about like edits and other things we might want to add as a group, and then kind of our timeline of when we're sending it.
Yes, well, as I say, it will come up for our consideration and potentially a vote at the February council meeting. If it passes, then either as amended or as it was originally written, the board will send it to the sheriff's office then as quickly as we can manage to do. There's no intentional delay. It's just a matter of logistics, getting it together. We have a corresponding secretary, Jessica Anakar, who would be sending that, and probably with my signature also.
So my other question would be, if we have, after we finish reading it, if we have suggestions, for example, my partner and I applied to be part of the council today, so we can't vote today, but if we wanted to potentially move together on that, would it be between now and February, or like right after that, the timeline of edits? What would that look like?
Well, a couple of things. One thing is, you don't have to be a council member to suggest edits.
Okay.
You can make those via email to info@v-mcc.org at any time between now and our February meeting. You can also suggest them in the form of amendments at that meeting. But after it passes, then there would be no more window for revision.
Great, thank you. Thank you for that.
Sure thing. Are there any preliminary requests for clarification or statements you'd like to make on this before we move on? Yes, Laura?
In terms of safety, a lot of homes have their own video cameras. Maybe businesses along the main highway do too. So that helps in terms of identifying safety issues for criminal activity. And so I agree that the expense too of implementing those readers, I don't want to spend my tax dollars on that.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Are there any other comments? Anything on Zoom? Yes.
Debbie has a question.
Excuse me?
Debbie has her.
Debbie, did you have a question?
Yes, and I might have missed it because it's a little bit hard to understand out here. But is it correct to assume these are systems that are used in the I-90 tunnel or on, for traffic control? Like when you like to make sure people aren't going through red lights or speeding past the Kenny home or used in the I-90 tunnel. Are they these same kind of systems?
I can answer that a little bit. There are lots of different systems, okay? Including the Good to Go system and the Seattle traffic control cameras and the flock surveillance automated license plate readers and similar things are a different sort of matter. It's more an integrated surveillance system. rather than focused on traffic control or whatever. But would anyone else, Nicole or Chris, like to address that? Or anyone?
Okay, great. That answers my question, I think. General surveillance doesn't seem like a great idea, but there are uses for license plate readers that are legitimate. So just clarifying the difference there. Thank you.
Right. Well, as was reflected in the resolution I read, this is directed at these generalized surveillance systems that are being used to track people and monitor people with no indication of a crime having been committed or in process.
Okay, thank you.
What I've read about the flock cameras is that the ACLU has reported that the company flock is sharing data about license plates and travel with the federal government to be added to AI models that in a way that's bypassing the local sheriff's office or the local state or local laws. So the local laws don't really have any impact on flock because of this backdoor data sharing that flock is made directly.
Yeah, my letter addresses that.
So we'll share the details of the letter in the VMCC blog section so that you can read it and have a chance to edit it between now and February. I'll try to get it there within a week.
Thank you. And comments will be enabled on that?
Comments are enabled. So you can comment on the blog post.
And that was Nicole that prepared this letter?
She did. Nicole both prepared the letter and also the resolution that I read.
Well done, thank you.
I'd also comment that this came out of our relatively new Technology Watch and Response Committee. This is the first major initiative of that committee, and that we're open for new members if anyone would like to join. Just in general, if you're interested in Technology Watch and Response, or if there are particular technological developments that concern you, we've set up this committee to encourage your participation and knowledge, and together research such things and make recommendations as we are now doing to the council. Thanks again, Nicole. It's great work. At this time, I'll open the floor for further motions for new business. Julie, I understand you have something.
I do. May I have the piece of paper?
Our secretary has it for you.
Excuse me.
Would you like to come up here and speak to him?
Did you want me to address what we discussed before the meeting?
Only insofar as it's helpful to emphasize its direct relevance to our island and the effects that it could have.
If we can try to, but if we can
just work.
If we can work toward putting that in the argument for the next meeting. Is that adequate?
Sure.
Hey, Julie.
Yes.
You may express behind the podium.
Oh. I'm so sorry. I could not obtain a copy of the Democratic Rules of Order. The library doesn't have one. And so this is not in the correct format. I apologize in advance. It's simply a statement. But it is a motion to the Vashon Community Council, dated this date, January 15th, 2026, honoring the life of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. on the 97th anniversary of his birth. The Vashon Island community urgently appeals to the King County Executive, Gurmay Zahile, to exercise his authority, seeking support at the state level as necessary to bar Department of Homeland Security agents in Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and Customs and Border Control from conducting illegal deportation flights through King County International Airport, also known as Boeing Field. That's the motion.
Thank you, Julie. Are there any questions with Julie for you?
Yes.
Could you identify yourself, please?
I'm so sorry, Julie Brown, I'm a voting member of the council. I'm someone who's been quite concerned with the immigration issue and its potential to come here. It's already affecting immigrants on our island. As far as I'm aware, there have been no raids here, but they are all over the place in King County. And I was at a protest today at the King County Airport, led by La Resistencia in protest of these flights, which are under an order from the King County Executive to provide oversight data and oversight support to people who want to make sure that there are no human rights abuses involved. The airport has been in non-compliance with that for a long, long time. This tells me that our days are numbered. If we've not seen raids here, but I do think it's imminent. It's inevitable, and it's changing quickly. That's why I supported the urgency of this. I'm not very good at speaking, but the issue is that it's coming for us, and we need to address that not only prophylactically, if we can do everything we can to prevent it, and to show our people in the county that we expect this action because we don't want to hear. But my argument also, and this is where Jay, our president, and I had to discuss it when I came in. My argument is much more one that's historical, and I think symbolic. I was prepared to read that this evening. It's been a long meeting. I don't want to take people's time, but I was prepared to read that, and we don't agree that it is logistically relevant to the island. Is that the term you used? Yeah, I believe it was. It is not. It's symbolically relevant, but we have an agreement apparently that the motions we bring will have this sort of explicit. I don't know the word to use because I can't address. Well, I'd like to address it because I think I might disagree a little bit, but we can't quantify this. We can't make it. I understand that the impacts are here right now because we're seeing our immigrant population. We're seeing, for example, the numbers at the food bank dropping off. People are afraid to go to the food bank. So people are afraid to seek social services. Are they also afraid? I could find out. Are clinic appointments down? Are people not going as much to Vashon Youth and Family Services? Are they going more because they're so stressed out? I can get numbers like this, but I do know from my experience working as a volunteer at the food bank that the numbers are dropping. Yeah.
Speaking of the relationship of this issue with Vashon-Maury, we know that I think it's in the bylaws, and I don't have the words quite exactly right, but the VMCC aspires to speak and be a representative of the issues and concerns of Vashon Islanders. We are part of King County. King County is either welcoming, as if I remember listening right, Cameron said, or we're a sanctuary county. And that seems to be not in accordance with what is observed happening at the King County Airport, which bears the name of the county in which we live. Yes. So in my opinion, it's relevant to us because we're associated with the political entity which this council serves to speak to us about. So I see a very direct relationship with what you're bringing up, and I appreciate the fact that you've done so.
Thanks, Glenn. That was very illuminating and also a little bit premature. We'll discuss this, but it hasn't been removed yet. So did you want to say anything more?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you so much.
For listening.
Thank you for being responsive. Yes,
We have a motion, a second for the motion.
exactly. That's what. But I wanted to make a preliminary contextual comment here. But reason Julie and I were discussing this before the meeting when she brought it up is because our bylaws stipulate that our community council is to deal with things that are specific to our island, and especially logistical matters such as transportation, public safety, and so on. So there needs to be that connection. And also, resolutions need to be something that will potentially make change in the world, not just rhetorical statements or symbolic signaling or statements. So I wanted to be convinced that these conditions were met before I ruled that the motion was germane and actionable. And I was persuaded of that. First of all, because it is a preventative measure for a very realistic threat that faces the island. It could well influence our representatives to take these steps that are being advocated. And now our community council is a 401c4 organization, which is a lobbying organization. So I think it's entirely appropriate for us to lobby our county representatives to do something that is not only by this logic the right thing to do, but also would help protect the people of our island to some degree from very real pertinent threats. So that's why I'm considering it germane. Yes.
A question, I'm a newcomer and I'm considering whether I want to spend time with this council or not.
Well,
and this was one of the subjects that I was curious about, there to be some tension on it. Would it be possible to view on the screen tonight the provisions of the bylaw that you're talking of, so we could be familiar with them? I realize they're available elsewhere. I was swear.
Yeah, in theory, it's possible. I don't know if we can pull it out and spare the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm very curious what the bounds are.
Jen, do you think you could find the wording?
I'm looking in the bylaws.
Well, she's looking. Well,
scouting, but I'm not sure which provision.
Kevin, you
bylaw.
probably know exactly where it is.
I believe it's in one paragraph. You're online, you can probably search it.
Well, Julie, you moved this, I believe. You made the motion.
Second.
And is there a second?
Second.
Mike and Ike seconded. I would welcome any questions for the sake of clarification or any brief initial statements. As with the other motion, we will be giving a fuller consideration to this at next month's meeting.
And Chris has a question on that.
Oh, there's a question.
Yeah. Chris?
Thank you.
Just wanted to offer as a piece of information about the airport. Previous executive Dow Constantine led an effort to prevent ICE from using the airport for deportation flights. It was ruled in court that the county didn't have the legal authority not to prevent or not to allow ICE to use it for that purpose. We continue to disagree with that. We are continuing to figure out how we can jam this up in courts. We have secured observation rooms. And excuse me, I've forgotten the name of the council member who brought the resolution, but she was at the protest. Current executive Zahalai was also at the protest. My boss, council member Mosqueda, was also at that protest. And I share all this just so you have the information and my view that it's important for resolutions like this to pass, even if we think that it's not going to be able to have a quick legal win, because people in our community see us standing up, even if it's not going to be easy, fighting for all of us in our community, right? And when history looks back and asks, what did we do in this moment? This is an example of saying people that came together on an island that is not next to the airport, that folks don't always know about, that isn't highlighted by Homeland Security. And they said, this isn't okay. So I just wanted to share that information, but also applaud you all for taking this action.
Thank you so much, Chris. Jen did find the paragraph in question. I'll read to you. It's on Article 2, Section 2, focus. This council shall limit the issues brought to it to those that affect the community. It shall avoid private concerns unless they have broad community implications. The council shall focus primarily on concrete logistical issues that affect islanders, such as housing, building codes and zoning, local environmental issues, drinking water, public safety, crime prevention, transportation issues, the flora and fauna of the island, etc. Council may also consider social, regulatory, and legislative issues affecting islanders. The council shall avoid partisan political activity that supports or opposes individuals for public office. It shall strive to encourage islanders of different ideologies and persuasions to work together toward community improvement. The council may promote networking between community groups to facilitate island collaboration. Yes, Kevin?
If it's relevant, I have a question about what authority makes that assessment of whether a motion is in compliance or out of compliance.
Ultimately, it's the council.
Is it the president or the council, meaning us?
Well, the way
The people.
I would say,
People. Thank you.
well, I provide a little more nuance than that. As chair, I might, like if I thought that this was not germane or was purely symbolic,
Yes.
and this is why I was talking to Julie beforehand to try and make that determination. I could have ruled, I'm going to rule this as out of order because it's not germane and it wouldn't make any difference if it passed. If I would have done that, I would have immediately entertained a motion to overrule that judgment. And if that was seconded, and then the council would discuss that and vote on it and either uphold my ruling or overrule me. And then if I was overruled, the council would have determined that yes, as a council, we'd consider this is germane and would conceivably have real effects in the world and proceed from there. And the council is the ultimate authority.
Clear communication, the council is not the board, the council is the collection of us here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I will also just say, I do appreciate the raising awareness about the scope of motions that the council chooses to entertain based on the guidelines and the bylaws. So I think it's always helpful dialogue. It's very important that, you know, we align the motion with these bylaws. This is generally the case. So thank you for that feedback. I think in general, I will say, so thanks for clarifying that the council does have the ultimate authority.
Yes, absolutely. And I'd add to that and explain a little bit why I talked to Julie at such length to become clear about this, because there is a very real risk that this council could be derailed by people bringing in like national political issues that don't directly affect our island, and to have it devolve into a forum for partisan wrangling in such a way that's debilitating for us to conduct business that is our shared concerns about our island. So I would just say we need to be very careful that the resolutions that we entertain are ones that do directly pertain to our island, as I've been convinced this one does, and also are not philosophical statements or symbolic statements, as important as those may be. And of course, that's not to say that those points can't be made. Like Julie was saying, you know, we have this history with the Japanese internment and all. That's relevant and can certainly be stated and emphasized and so on. But the core of it is motions have to be directly pertaining to our island, and if they pass, conceivably could have a real effect in the world. And it's important that we have that boundary, is my point. Julie, did you have something you wanted to add? Okay, Mark.
I was just wondering if there's a proposal to do something that's illegal. Is that not, is that not important to the island and the lives of the people in the island?
Oh, it absolutely would be important, but the way that would work is that I would make the same determination if it's germane and actionable in the sense that it could really make a difference in the world. And then as we went to debate it, you or some other council member might stand up and say, oh, that's patently illegal. We wouldn't want to do that. And then people might debate that and someone else say, well, by my understanding, it's perfectly legal or whatever. And we would try and build on our collective wisdom to make a determination of if it would be well advised or not. So in some situations, you might have an open mind and be persuaded, oh, I thought it was illegal, but now I see it's really legal. Or the council might say, oh, yeah, Mark, it's obviously illegal. We wouldn't want to do that. Or the council might decide, you know what, it's illegal, but it's so important that it's technically illegal, but we need to take a stand and we'd be willing to take those risks. But it's to the council to determine through debate and forming our collective wisdom how best to proceed in light of objections like that might be raised. Yes, Allison?
One more clarifying question. I think I've lost track a little bit of the nugget that was proposed. We got a little bit sidetracked on its application, and now I'm a little lost on the subject, the meat of the subject. We didn't get to hear the whole resolution, is that correct? There's a fair amount of that's remaining. So my question, again, as a non-voting member tonight, is there a way to hear that resolution, or perhaps, like at this point, we're just asking to then discuss it in February, is that correct? Right. And would you mind just doing like a 2-sentence synopsis of what we're discussing to?
Well, it's a short motion, Julie, you could read it again. And my understanding is that she read the whole motion, but there was this other material that she deferred reading about.
Derail again, I just.
No,
lost track.
and I'm glad you raised the
Could you just give it to me?
Or I'd be happy to read it, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, Julie, Allison is maybe not the only person who's on current motion.
Cause I like, for me personally, I agree with the topic, but I don't know what we're voting to discuss. Does that make sense?
You're voting to urgently appeal to King County Executive letter through our representative, Representative Mosqueda, or I don't know, it's probably best to do it from her. To appeal to King County Executive Thurman Zapale to exercise his authority, seeking support at the state level as necessary to bar Department of Homeland Security agents in immigration and customs enforcement and Customs and Border Patrol, both operating in the state right now, from conducting illegal deportation flights through King County International Airport, also known as Boeing Field.
Okay. So we're voting to appeal to those people to use their authority on this subject. Today, our application today. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Which is fine, I just wanna make sure, because I felt like we had two sticky things. One was like our ability to do so, which helped me lose track of what we're talking about we're doing. So I feel like I got clarity now, thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Questions like that are always in order. I want everyone to be able to understand exactly what we're dealing with, what we're talking about, and the stage of the process we're at. If we have to go a little slowly to make sure everyone's absolutely clear, I think it's important to do that. Jen?
I really appreciated Teresa Mosqueda's office's letter on the flock issue. And I wonder if Teresa Mosqueda's office would be willing to provide us a letter about the legal implications of the motion that we could again post along with the motion. So
I think she would be, because she's been very much on board with the issue of ICE and the ICE flights out of.
Chris, did you catch that question?
I'm sorry, I caught part of it. A letter on the legal implications of opposing illegal ICE flight, illegal deportation flights.
Yeah, but that's the gist of it. We've had this motion made about appealing to the King County Executive to oppose these illegal ICE flights out of Boeing Field, and we're wondering if Council Member Mosqueda's office would send us a letter similar to what she sent about the flock cameras, just giving her position on this and helping us fill us in on the context of this, such as you were mentioning before, and also raising any legal issues of which we might be unaware.
I'm not a lawyer. We do have a lawyer in our office, Melanie. She's great. I just want to make sure that like our office is not going to provide you legal advice on the statements that the council could pass urging us or any other elected office could pass.
Yeah, okay.
And like, I just want to also share, my boss is 1,000% against illegal deportation flights, like from King County, from anywhere. I think the specific situation today was a judge ruled that an individual could not be deported to Venezuela, and the federal administration was trying to anyway. And the Gramai Zahalai, the county executive, his office partnered with us, bringing to action, and we were able to keep that individual from being deported against a court order today. So I just want to make sure I'm getting the ask correct and making sure that I'm able to either make an ask and I come back with an answer like, hey, we can't do that, or just making sure I'm getting at what the goal is.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Yeah, I would construe it that we're not asking for legal advice per se, but just inviting your office to send a letter on this topic for context. And if you're aware of some legal consideration, you're welcome to bring that up without it being in a formal giving legal advice role. So fair to say.
Quick question, JC.
Yes.
So Chris Lampkin was speaking from Teresa's office, is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks a lot, Chris, and thanks again for being here tonight. Are there any other comments on this before we move on? And thank you all for your attention to that matter. Are there other motions from the floor or from Zoom, which is part of the floor?
I'm confused on what just happened. This is Virginia on Zoom. Can you hear me?
Hi, Jenny. Yeah, I can hear you. I'll explain what just happened.
Well, this most recent thing, I mean, asking Teresa's office to write something for us. So did we conclude, is that being added, or I don't know why we really need to do it?
Well, the idea was they sent us this really great letter on flock cameras because it came to their attention that we were going to be considering that. And I would say the spirit of this was to invite them to write a similar letter on this topic, since they're very involved with this, as Mr. Lampkin was just describing.
Okay, so if we're just asking for her position on it, then I think that's a great idea. And that just any language about the legality of it probably should not be part of what we invite her to do. If she chooses to do so, fine, but I don't think it should be part of any request, assuming that what we've just decided is that the council will, if someone for the council will officially ask for her position on it.
Well, I think that's wise, Jenny, and so I tried to temper that. The original request was for her to write a letter and just to bring to our attention any legal matters that we might not be aware of. But you know what? We didn't realize at that moment that we were wading into this swamp of legal matters. That wasn't really the intent. So I hope it's scaled back. Just we're inviting them to send or not a letter on this topic if they would like to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Now, Mark?
Yeah, I guess just a question. Is this council a voice for representing Vashon Island?
I'm glad you asked that. That has been a perennial question for our community council predecessors. And the way I look at it, Mark, it's like this. We represent ourselves as we show up here. And we also do our best to represent the best interests of the island, however we can. But we are not representing other people. We're a lobbying organization, essentially, that are trying to look out for our island. but it's a direct democracy, not a representative democracy. It's direct in that everybody's welcome to come. Whoever comes can have their voice heard. And they represent their own views, and we try and figure out what's for the good of our island, but that's the extent of it.
Thank you.
Any other comments on this matter before we move on?
If I could, JC.
Yes, Kevin?
I'd like to quote from the bylaws. This council aims to represent the interests of the Vashon-Maury Island community to King County and other government and non-governmental organizations in lieu of a municipal government.
Right. We're trying to represent the interests, but not other islanders.
Certification.
Just the people who show up. Thank you.
To be clear about that.
Thank you. Well, we'll turn now the remaining time we have, which isn't much. Is there any community input or questions? And we do have a couple of announcements coming up. But if there's any input or questions that you're burning to say, now's the time. Very well. Jen?
We had received a follow-up based on Laura's request to the King County and with the parking lot and the ferries, that they want a little bit more time until February to do an assessment of that space. But
okay,
they haven't forgotten.
Thank you. Nicole, would you like to issue a brief invitation to join the Beacon Initiative, please?
Yes, that was actually,
Would you like to stand up here, Nicole?
it's okay. This happened, I was not prepared to get this today, but the Beacon Initiative is a revolutionary movement, to move human society into the future. And it started as a, where I wrote a set of ideals, philosophies, based on the doctrine of love and conscience and the philosophy of love and freedom. And at this point, I'm in the final stages of drafting a constitution for a novel system of societal protection called the United Humanitarian Protectorate. It's a system of protection that is whose sole purpose is to protect the inherent and inviolable rights of the people. It was a tightly constrained, direct democratic system that is exceptionally robust from authoritarian drift for centuries-long stability. And I cannot wait to present this serious movement to the people, so that we can deliberate and hopefully adopt it.
Thank you, Nicole. So anyone interested in more information on the Beacon Initiative, please contact Nicole directly. And Jen Rakovic, you also have an announcement, I believe.
What was my announcement?
How do you do with the Friends of Quartermaster Tramp and Portage?
Friends of Quartermaster. So if you're interested in being a part of a leading coalition to improve the water quality in Quartermaster and Tramp Harbor and look at options for Portage, please let me know. And I'm at secretary.bmcc@proton.me.
And I would recommend that you go to the Voice of Vashon website and look on the Brown briefly. Jen and her husband came on and talked about this program, and it's fascinating. And I recommend that you go and listen to that show because it's very, very interesting.
And if you're interested in growing oysters,
yes,
be welcome to contact Jen. Thank you, Jen. Mark?
I just have a question that I hope it's okay to ask this. I was wondering if I'm the only one who's having difficulty hearing what everybody's saying. I guess so. Okay.
No, you're not. I don't know. No, you're not the only one.
You know,
Suggest
you know what?
that there be I mean, if more people felt like I do, I was gonna suggest that if it's possible to have a better, more efficient sound system so that we can all hear.
Look at this, what, you've been reading?
I'm reading.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it would be really nice to actually hear what somebody's saying.
You know,
I don't mind, I agree that it's great, it's good that you have some software or whatever that can hear everybody, but it's just that I couldn't.
well, Mark, you're absolutely right. One thing I've found is that the more hard of hearing people are, the more difficult it is for them to hear. But that said, I would like for everybody to hear perfectly clearly. And there are technical solutions. We haven't gotten there yet, but I'm looking into it. And for a long time, I believed that because of issues with feedback, it wouldn't be possible. But now I think there's a way around that. And we're investigating certain devices and still trying to figure out the best way. But this organization is all about communication. So we really need to be able to communicate effectively. And part of that is using technology so that people can hear what's being said, however they show up. So I just want you to know that it's been challenging to make our way through the technological hurdles, but we're trying to do that. Thank you. I hope you'll keep coming. Yes, Laura?
I can read the response from the King County Road Services Division regarding the state of repairs that might happen at the North End Ferry Dock, especially centered on Vashon Southward Route. Because I've been working on this project since November, as you know. It's very short.
Well, Laura, I asked, we're past time to adjourn.
Okay.
So I asked that you work with us to prepare a briefing for the council on that, because there are a number of items we want to follow up with the council about, including the strategic climate action plan amendments we made and some other things. And we want to get those all together and send out something in the spirit of updates. And we include that, right?
Okay,
So,
I have sent it to you and Nicole specifically, so that text, I think, could be part of whatever information you share. Because I want people to know
yeah,
what
we'll get it out there.
timeline they have projected.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Mike, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
No, there's questions on Zoom.
Oh, there are questions on Zoom. Yeah, what questions do we have?
It's from Steve and Debbie.
Please go ahead and keep it brief.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of the 5th annual Antique Rock Show at the Vashon Library on Sunday, 15 February 2026 from 1:30 to 3 p.m. All are welcome to bring in their coolest rocks for identification by a panel of local geologists. We'll have a contest with prizes for the most spherical or heart-shaped natural rocks found on the beach. So we welcome you to come to the library.
Thanks, Steve. It's a wonderful event. And there was another announcement or question. Nicole, did you say there was Debbie, did you have something to say?
Yeah, just real quick, I want to let people know that there's a Vashon Healthcare Forum on Thursday, January 29th at the Vashon High School from 7 to 8:30 p.m. There'll be a lot of our healthcare entities on the island presenting what they do and letting you know how you can access those services like MIH, Dispatch Health, the pharmacy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and bring your questions. Actually, it's best to go to the website and write down your questions for the healthcare district. Anyway.
Okay, thanks very much, Debbie. Debbie is our healthcare sector liaison. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I know you all having a great time. Would someone like to move that we adjourn?
I'll move that we adjourn.
And seconded by Evan. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, is there discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll move to vote. All those in favor of adjourning, please raise your hand.
Count.
You need to vote. Let's go.
It's counting. 20.
21, and all opposed? It's a vote.
Yes.
None opposed. It passes. Thank you again for coming tonight and for your participation, everyone.
Thanks, JC.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone on
everybody.
Zoom. Thank you for attending.
Yeah, for signature, that's right.
Thank you for coming. Your name again.
Thanks for
please.
Welcome,
Oh,
Tavi.
It's been pretty fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stepping up.
To bring this resolution forward, because it's almost done. Like it's.
How long you gonna put on? And you have it the next year. Okay. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for the letter that you drafted. It's very detailed and clear and excellent.
Yeah, thank you for the time showing up and with part of the team.
Yeah. I haven't had the honor of reading the whole thing, so now that we've found where documents are, you can like access them, we'll definitely take a look at them and. I know, I basically spent the day just talking on, I'm trying to find all the documentation and all the research, and I got him, I was like, oh shit, this is great. You're interesting. So we just signed up for the newsletter, and then literally at 6:30 in our car, we both signed up to be members, so we haven't been processed. But hopefully we're in the queue now.
Likely to send it here.
I'm sure, that'll be great. So, for me would be Allison, Alleson. Marie, Marie. That's okay, Marie, and then B like boy. Allison Marie B at Gmail. Okay. And the ALLE part's important because there's an Allison Marie B with an I. Get my email, so. Well, and then.
So it's not that. You're a politician, oh, I'm not a politician.
I am. Unfortunately.
Bye, have a good night.
Here's the motion, I will give, here is the resolution, should I give those to Jen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
I think we're gonna get up.
Right. Get to it.
Well, this is Jen's. Hey, thank you.
Did a great job.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here.
Well, I am
Thanks for making
too.
the effort.
I'll be here every month.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's important, isn't it?
It is. Good. Good work.
Thanks, thanks, Alex.
Thank you for that meeting. Real challenge. I think. Great job.
I enjoy it.
Well, good. Nice. Not everybody would. So.
Yeah, it's good. I feel like we're learning again. You know, we're all learning.
Then there are new people that come, they know nothing.
Yeah, so that's.
I guess so.
Yeah. Let me say I'm not people.
Yeah. I mean, I really, we're dating with people. Kind of, you know, I was not. It's cool.
Never good while.
Thanks for all your hard work. Anyway.
Thanks, sir. So much. Let's see what happens.
I forgot my hearing aids. I could hear pretty well. And the heat was running off. I was sitting next to the vent and I could hear it. And you're a very quiet person. You need a microphone just for you.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's I'm gonna bring that issue up with the board.
Well, I had three loud sisters, but I had to put them on the phone together.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, I guess,
It is tricky. I don't have that.
well, equity also means that the first supply.
And you know, as long as it's association.
Oh. Listen, which thing? I'm all about. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Oh, you have kids? Oh, you know, mine are too. Can I show you something? So.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's why
it's better. It's called the landing. Yeah. It's like.
Okay, it's my son made this.
No. Oh, you're thinking of the fort, yeah, actually, you're thinking, yeah. Sometimes, but, no, I'm the builder. Yeah, so I feel like you're right. But, yeah, so no, small team standards are great, but when talking in ways, trying to take.